beautiful soul reflections, sending each and every single one of you beautiful souls all of my love and light on this beautiful Friday today. Today is Friday, January 21st, 2022, and I have some reflections to share with you. This specific installment or episode of this this video series, which like I intuitively felt called to start today, is all about tarot, and that's what this series is going to be about, kind of like tarot talks. And this specific session, this specific installment of this is going to talk all about tarot and the elements that are contained within it, how each suit corresponds to a different element. So for example, we have the suit of cups corresponding to the element of water, which is a feminine, which has a feminine quality to it. The suit of wands corresponding to fire, which has that yang, masculine correspondence to it. And then we have the suit of pentacles, which is which corresponds to earth, and that has a feminine quality to it. And again, this is just like traditionally speaking, and this is like how it, like the tarot is built. Of course, like we all have all of these elements within us, and of course, like just to express briefly, like even if we are like a water sign, or even if we are an earth sign, again, there's so many other aspects to our natal chart. And see, this is how like we can start to see how like the tarot weaves in so seamlessly and so beautifully, and we can find so much meaning within the tarot, because each of the cards corresponds to these different elements, and then those different elements correspond to the different archetypal energies, like essentially that are present within the different ruling planets, and like what characteristics that they have. If we think about the planets as archetypal energies, as kind of these energies that we can make sense of in some way, that's what tarot is all about. It is like this means of reflection where we can start understand ourselves deeper through the stories that the spreads tell, and how the meaning that we derive from that, we all create our own meaning within this reality. So if tarot isn't something that like provides you with that meaning, then that's okay too. I'm not trying to force any of this down you. This is just a tool that has helped me to gain so much guidance, insight, and direction in my life. And without going on too much about that, I'm just coming back to the main focus here of what I'm saying, but it's all relevant. What I'm saying, is that, again, tarot is a tool that has helped me so much over the years, and I feel as though it can be helpful if I can share some of my insight into the tarot. And just this morning, pulling a reading that involves 3 cards, not one, not 2, but 3 cards that are within the suit of coins in this deck, which corresponds to, it's the suit of pentacles in traditional tarot decks, but a lot of those are interchangeable within decks. So I pulled the 4 of coins, the 2 of coins, and the ace of coins in this reading. And this reading was one that was reflecting upon freeing your emotions, and see, like, freeing my emotions and stuff like that within this spread. I pulled, again, that was kind of the intention of this reading and what this spread was about. I pulled 3 cards that were corresponding to the suit of pentacles. The suit of pentacles is this earthly element that is not necessarily related to the emotions, like the suit and the element of the suit of cups is, like the suit of water, but all of that, corresponds to our emotions. So again, these are all interconnected. So, I pulled 3 cards within the suit of pentacles, in this deck, suit of coins. These are all relating to finances and, like this earthly element, so yeah. So again, Suit of Pentacles is associated with the earth signs Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And these signs represent qualities of groundedness, sensuality, fortitude, service, and material manifestation. So, what I've really been focusing upon and what I've been reflecting upon a lot is, how whenever we want to manifest anything, it all starts with an idea. It all starts with a thought. It all starts with, it begins and ends, with the mind and the mindset that we have. That's why there's so many things about, being mindful, so we can become the watcher of our thoughts and the observer of our thoughts. So I've been doing a lot of reflecting upon this. And again, some of these reflections that I'm sharing to you and reflecting to you may be some assistance to you in whatever it is that you're trying to, whatever it is that you are working to manifest. I'm learning to not say the word try so much in my vocabulary, because that in of itself, again, is word magic. And the words we use and how we speak to ourselves, it's tremendous. It's of tremendous importance, and there's so much power, in our words sound power. What are we affirming to ourselves, by, is the talk that we have with ourselves negative, or is it, affirming of our worth and our value and all that we have to provide, all that we have to share. And, when we have that right mindset, and when we're coming from that place of, that space of, who we are and all that we are, as opposed to, from this place of limitation and, contraction, rather from this place of expansiveness, or, our true self, that radiates, from our center, from that place of balance, from that place of connectedness with the truth of who we are. Can we get in touch and in connection with that? And all of that starts with our thoughts. So, with that being said, and coming back from that tangent that, I went on to, the eventual manifestation, of those thoughts and ideas and dreams, grounding our dreams in reality. It comes all from this realm of, the thought, and then, it works its way down into the material manifestation. It's like the seed. I always think about things as our thoughts being the seed, and, the seed contains the entire blueprint of, what it will become, of what it will manifest into. But, you don't see the entire tree, until the seed has grown. Much in the same way that, we don't see the material results of our hard work sometimes until it really starts to take root, and ground itself in this reality, in this world, in a more tangible way. But we can be growing that network, and the network of the root system underground, and it's underground because it's not yet seen, but we're forming all these connections, and we're this community, this network. And to bring that into reflection of my life, I feel like for the past couple of years of my life, I've been building this network, and it really feels like, I'm signing a lease with my partner, Alyssa, this coming, we're going to be moving in. We're literally just messaging each other today. We're literally going to be moving in on, what day was it? It's, on 2/22 or something. I sent her, the call I had with the, I left a message with the apartment complex, Lumberton apartment complex. It's outside of Philly. Me and my partner are currently living at an Airbnb, currently dwelling in an Airbnb in Philly, and we're going to be moving back to, this is by the Mount Holly area for anyone who's watching this video and is curious, where we're going to be located going forward. So we're going to be in Mount Holly, but yeah. When I spoke to the Lumberton apartment complex this morning on the phone, when I left them a message, I didn't actually speak to a person there. I left them a message, but the call ended at 222. And I'm always paying attention to all of the different numerical synchronicities and, correspondences. And that's, I'm I'm a nerd when it comes to all of that kind of stuff, which is why, I feel called to share all of this with you, because, I'm always making all of those different connections, and I see that they can be useful and of, help for, you, these, when I reflect upon it and I share it freely. It feels good for me to open up and share it, something I'm passionate about, which is this whole realm of connections that, we can draw upon. We live in this world of, reflections. This world is filled with these mirrors. It is a mirror, where we can see ourselves if we're willing to, within all of it. And so going back to what I was saying, with the 222, like the call that the call that I had this morning ended at 222, and we're going to be moving in on, what day is it again? I'm just looking back. Oh yeah, we're literally moving in on February, which is the second month, so 02/02/2022. So, grounding all this, like to energy, and, just like the union between me and Alyssa, like, being the foundation for like all of this, and just like, again, and the card that I pulled in this reading being, the Two of Coins, where it speaks all about, the skill needed to balance our opposing forces in life, and, the Pentacles, again, relating to the finances of, like the earthly and the material. So like, it's like balancing things, in order to, be grounded in the material world. I know I'm jumping around and kind of jumping into different things within this reading, but, I find that it's all relevant. And, that's why I was bringing this up, is because I was bringing up, like the element of, Pentacles and, grounding myself in the world. So, like, whereas before I was kind of building a lot of this network, like underground, and these roots, like this, art piece that I got not that long ago, is so affirming of it, like it's like the as above, so below, it's like the tree that we see, or the roots they look almost the same as the branches, like growing up, like, above on top of the surface. And, it really is like, when we create that inner foundation, within ourselves, and our roots are deep, grounded here on the earth, like grounded deep into the ground, then that allows us to, grow, tall like trees. Like the tree is such a powerful, like, metaphor, and like has like such like deep symbolic quality, like held within it. And, like it has been like that for years. And nature itself, again, speaking about the seed, containing that entire blueprint, just as we contain this holographic blueprint for our eventual unfolding, of what we will become. We can access that within ourselves, like when we like meditate upon, upon these seeds that we want to plant, out in the world, that we all are star seeds that, contain this holographic seed packet. And that's, that language is, like deriving from, I'm deriving from the Mayan oracle, which is like, we contain the entire blueprint of our, like, like evolution, like within us. And it's like this, in the same way that the seed holds all of that potential, we hold all of this potential energy, like the total sum of it, like when we learn to access that, hidden potential within ourselves, and we like bring awareness to it, then we start to be able to consciously create our reality, in alignment with, our true potential and all that we have to give, because we start to access and shine a light upon, like, what are my passions? What are the things that I love to do? What are the things that I'm here to bring out into the world? We start to understand what that is. Of course, like, no one is here to tell us what we're here to do with our lives, but it's a journey, within ourselves that we all, like, take, that we're all upon, to learn and discover what it is that we're here to birth into the world, what it is that we're here to give life to and birth. We're all here to birth this new consciousness upon our planet, and we all have these beautiful things to, bring bring to that vision, this collective vision of what it is that we're birthing here together. And, it starts with the personal vision of what am I here to contribute to that vision, to contribute to that larger vision. And, how can I weave my story into this larger, story that is unfolding in the world around us? And of course, these are all the questions that we ask upon this vision quest. And, a couple months ago, I pulled a card, and a reflection to me was like, you're on a vision quest, and it was like, wow, like I am, I've been just diving deep, into the depths of my soul to uncover, what it is that I'm here to bring. And, we get flashes of that here and there. And then we start to assemble this vision and this picture of what it is. And again, this process is continual, and it continues to be refined. And, we continue to dive into the depths of our subconscious, to dig out and to pull out, these treasures, from the depths below. And, we bring them to the surface. So we're constantly refining, and constantly, refining our vision through, what we pull from the depths of our soul, from the depths below, and that is what we bring to the surface, and it is what we share, out into the world, into the visible world, under the surface of things, when we're not just, dive deep, and again, it is this process of diving deep to uncover, to discover, to then, share and spread, what it is that we find, from the depths of our soul, to shine out into the world, which is, the last card that I pulled in this reading is the Sun. And this oracle deck that this is actually a tarot deck. I have a lot of oracle cards, but this is the Tarot of the Divine. And I just really love the artwork in this deck so much. I just recently, me and my partner recently just got this deck together a couple of months ago at Barnes & Noble. And what it says in the back here that I feel called to read is, the path to enlightenment is unique for each of us, but many of the lessons we learn are shared stories passed among cultures and generations. Which is, what tarot is all about. There are these, the lessons that we learn are shared stories that are passed among cultures and generations. And, when we look at tarot, it is this story of, it's the fool's journey, and we can see ourselves depicted within that, within so many different decks. It just brings it into so many different relatable forms that we can, see ourselves in. So, if we have a deck that we love particularly, that's the cat tarot deck, maybe that's because we resonate with that energy, and it speaks to us. And, it's something that has meaning to us in a way. So just as this deck, I really love the art in it, and it means, something to me. Perhaps you have a specific deck that you like to work with. That you find particularly appealing, or, you enjoy working with. I have so many that I enjoy working with, because I'm a very, I really love so many different artistic styles, and I have a very eclectic taste in music, just as I have an eclectic taste with tarot decks, kind of based upon how I'm feeling and what I'm looking to, the energy I'm looking to bring through. And this particular day, I wanted to work with, the Tarot of the Divine, this one specifically, because this is a tarot deck and it works with the elemental energies. So coming back from all of those trains of thought that I had, that I was inspired to share and speak about, I'd like to go a little bit further into the elements and share a brief passage from Biddy Tarot, which is a great resource for anyone that's diving into their own tarot journeys and looking to ever look up deeper what a card meaning is, just some different reflections that can help you deeper understand what energy is speaking to you within any oracle, within any tarot deck that works with the traditional Rider-Waite system of the that works with the, the traditional Rider-Waite system of the, I believe, like of the major and minor arcana, and there's like the 22, going back to the 222 number, I think that there's 22, what is it? Let me see. Let me just look briefly here. There's 78 tarot cards. So there's the, sorry, give me 1 second. I don't know this off the top of my head, and I should. This is why I want to study it more, because I work a lot with oracle decks, and I haven't been working with like the traditional tarot like meanings and stuff, but I see how it has so much power, with it too, because like, oracle decks, they can speak to these specific energies with the cards you pull, and sometimes it can be very good, useful and helpful to complement a reading that you do with the traditional, tarot deck with like an oracle card, because it can speak to a very specific energy in a way that like the tarot maybe can't, like they're different kind of systems of reflection. And so for this specific reading, I chose to work with the tarot cards specifically because I wanted to, kind of like see some of those elemental energies at play. And so as it says in the Biddy Tarot and what I was reading about, like, again, it's like, and what resonates with me is that one of the fastest ways to learn and read tarot is to understand the elements, water, fire, earth, and air, that sit behind the tarot suits of the minor arcana. So when we can start to understand, what these elements mean, then we already, just as, 1 second. When we can start to understand what these mean, the elements are what truly shape the minor arcana and give a specific type of energy to each suit, so we combine it with numerology from 1 to 10, again, each of the cards corresponding to that, like the 1 of coin, the ace of coins, it wouldn't be 1 though, it's called the ace traditionally, so it would be the ace of coins, the 2 of coins, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Each of those, like having that numerological correspondence. So like when we understand kind of what the numerology signifies, combined with the elemental energy, we can kind of have a better understanding of what the card means upon first glance without necessarily just looking at the book itself. Because, we perhaps already have this understanding of what these elemental energies mean, with water, meaning like the fluid, having this fluid nature and having this feminine quality, and, the masculine energy being present within like, the masculine yang energy being present within this fire energy. Again, I spoke about this in the beginning of this reading already, and then, again, the earth element, having this nurturing feminine quality. And, the first card I pulled in this reading was the Empress. For those of you who'd like to look at like the card, which represents this, fertility, this like nurturing motherly energy. And, like all of these cards were very significant to me when I pulled them, because that was like, has always been one of my favorite qualities. And like, it's what is representative of this, like, earthly, like, it's this nurturing, like abundant energy of fertility and harvest. And it's very connected to, again, the earth element, which is what the coins are representative of in this deck, and the pentacles are representative of. So 4 of these cards that I pulled are reflective of this earth element. What have I been talking about? Like this cycle in my life in reflection. So all of these cards in reflection to this cycle in my life has been all about, grounding, these thoughts and ideas and dreams that I have, into the material world. Through, like doing what I love and, shining that light out into the world, which is like the sun, which is the last card that I pulled in this, which is, in this particular reading, again, which is about freeing your emotions spread that I did. And I don't normally do, these specific spreads, but this time I felt called to, again, like, listening to my intuition. And this one was one that was provided online. I can maybe share the link in the comments below, or in the caption below. if any of you feel interested in doing this particular 5-card spread. And so each of the cards were like, which memories from the past are holding me back? For the first card. The second card, which worries about the future are holding me back? The card 3 was, which choices or bad habits are holding me back? And then 4 is, which people or which unhealthy relationships are holding me back? So each of these kind of like speaking to a particular thing that's like holding our energy back, that's keeping it from flowing freely through us, so it is like, like these limiting beliefs, these it could be like these limiting beliefs, like these limiting thought forms, these limiting behaviors, people, environments, like these like things that are unhealthy, that aren't like allowing our energy to flow freely. It's like through reflecting upon this, it can bring those things to the surface, of our, into conscious awareness, so that like these things aren't so unconscious anymore. And tarot can be a great tool for that. Jung is one of my favorite things that I like to bring up. People and Jungian, psychology is one of the things I love to bring up. I was just looking this morning at a tarot deck that was about the Jungian tarot and or Jungian tarot, and he speaks all about the collective unconscious, the unconscious, and the I think he talks about the personal unconscious, and then like the conscious mind, and all of that, again relating to the larger collective conscious, which we're all unearthing and bringing to the surface, and we're seeing the reflection of, displayed through all of the reflections that we are, like facets of and faces of a diamond, here all shining and reflecting a specific, these specific aspects of the one that we are, these different aspects of this plan unfolding, that we are all here to play specific roles within. So speaking about, connecting with that personal power, our personal mythos, like the story that we're here to, bring to life, the visions that we have, that we're here to, bring to, and that are part of ultimately, like this larger vision of, like what we're birthing here on Earth, like this like new energy, like disentangling ourselves from, past attachments, past patterns, things that are holding us back, to, in the 5th card, again, in this specific reading, to release that energy and become free. And really, all oracle readings, all tarot readings are essentially doing a similar thing. It's like, how can I, like this, what is this reflection shining upon? Like, what is this, like, how can I see myself in this? Like, how can this help to free this trapped energy? Like, how can it help me see things with greater clarity so that I can move forward with more grace and ease and peace? Like, that's what we all want. And so it's like, when we find meaning within oracle cards, it can be a reflection always to us, and it can provide us like, guidance and direction as how we can, move forward with more grace and efficiency. And I always speak about those words specifically because, it speaks about, grace being the law of efficiency, and it's working smarter and not harder. So, being informed, through these different, through this information, it's like we are informed by that, through these lessons that are depicted, and through these energies that reflect back to us, different aspects of our human nature, again, like representing our emotions, our intellect, the mind, our thoughts, in the material world too. So it's like, tarot is not all just woo-woo spiritual. Like, it's very practical, in the sense of its application, to our lives. When we really do apply the lessons and the insight that we learn in anything for that matter. Again, it's not just tarot, it's the insights that we apply from the people and the interactions that we have in the world around us. It's like, how do we apply and how do we integrate that information, into our daily life, so that we can actually set new patterns in place. And this is all about, like these new neural creating new neural pathways, like in yoga they call them the samskaras and the grooves of the mind. How do we, disentangle from, how do we let go of past patterns, and stop wearing out these old grooves, these old ways of doing things that are no longer serving us, and step into new, more empowering, more healthy, nourishing, ways of being, ways of living that, can make us, again, like, that can allow us to feel more, our energy to feel more free, at peace, just to be at peace within ourselves. We feel this restlessness when we're not doing what we love, and we're not, like manifesting and living the life of our dreams. So really, all of these reflections can be, the reflections that we receive from tarot, from the world around us, can be informing us, can be, providing us with the guidance that we need to, move with more, with being more at peace with ourselves, and, feeling more free and happy and joyful about this life that we're living, because we're here not just to survive, but we're here to thrive, which has been a big mantra for me. I'm not here just to survive, just to get by, to work a 9 to 5. Nah, I'm here to live, to thrive, to live the life of my dreams. And how do I take the steps to, clear out the old energy, the old patterns, the old ways of doing things that are, preventing me from doing that? And, and what are the new patterns, the new habits that I can put in place that really help me to, start living this life of my dreams, and really put that into practice, and, practically apply the lessons and the guidance that I've received, and, bring that into the real world. And so these are just some reflections, again, that I've been sharing based upon this reading, and I will show you the complete reading now. I know it's been a while into this video so far, but I will show you, here, wait, I think this is the right way around. I don't think I can turn the video around while I'm in this, but here you can see the specific cards, perhaps. Let me pull these cards down. You can see the specific cards that I pulled for my reading today, and this is a new habit that I want to start instilling more into my daily routine, is reading more oracle cards each day, like doing a daily reading and reflecting upon it. I used to do that a lot more often. It doesn't look like I can really set these up like that, so I will just show them to you in this way. So here, where is, okay. So here, I think you guys can see all of the cards present here, right? Yes. So the first card that I pulled is the Empress, the second card being the 4 of coins, third card being the 2 of coins, and the fourth card being the Ace of coins, and then the last one that they told me to leave flipped over until I read the other ones and reflected upon it is the Sun. Me and my partner have been reflecting upon, just the, again, how the sun is what gives life. It's like just thinking about the sun, like, not even like what the tarot meaning is, what it says in this book, but like the sun is what gives life and, energy that supports this whole living system, this living organism that we're all a part of. So it is that, like, it like gives life, brings light, to all of life in existence, and it's nourishing in that way. We go outside and receive that sunlight on our skin. It's beautiful. And yeah. And so just wanted to go over and come back to what I was saying in the beginning of this video, which is about how tarot is all in the elements, how water, fire, earth, and air shape the tarot, how these, fundamental elements, and, we can say that ether is part of that too, ether or space being, like spirit, which is present within all of those elements itself. Like, that's kind of the way that I make sense of it. So again, I'm just going to read briefly this is like a section from, biddytarot.com/elements. If any of you at home watching this video, feel called to read into more about the elements and how their correspondence to the tarot, and how that could be, very helpful, to have that understanding. So in this post, she's walking us through the elements and how we can create a personal connection with each of them. And, she's going to show us what these elements reveal about the 4 tarot suits and how to use them easily and effortlessly in your tarot readings. So the 4 elements, there are 4 classical elements: water, fire, earth, and air, each with its own energy and symbolic meaning, as I've been sharing. In the tarot, each of the suits is related to one of these 4 elements. So the water element, or the suit of cups, the water element corresponds to the suit of cups. So water is fluid, agile, and in flow, but it's also very powerful and formative. It can be soft and gentle, like waves lapping against the sandy shore, or it can be powerful and even forceful, like a raging river. The element of water is symbolic of fluidity, feelings, and emotions, intuition, relationships, healing, and cleansing. It is a feminine element and reflects the subtle power that often resides within women. It is receptive, adaptable, purifying, and flowing. In the tarot, water relates to the suit of cups. The suit of cups tarot card meanings deal with the emotional level of consciousness and are associated with love, feelings, relationships, and connections. The cups tarot cards indicate that you are thinking with your heart rather than your head, and thus reflect your spontaneous responses and your habitual reactions to situations. Cups are also linked to creativity, romanticism, fantasy, and imagination. The negative aspects of the suit of cups include being overly emotional or completely disengaged and dispassionate, having unrealistic expectations, and fantasizing about what could be. There may be repressed emotions, an inability to truly express oneself, and a lack of creativity. And then moving into the fire element, the suit of wands. So fire is hot, wild, unpredictable, and energetic. It can be creative in helping us to cook food or build tools, or it can be destructive, like a devastating bushfire or house fire. The element of fire is symbolic of passion, energy, enthusiasm, and sexuality. It is a masculine element and reflects the drive and willpower of the masculine energy. In the tarot, the fire element is represented by the suit of wands. The suit of wands tarot card meanings are associated with primal energy, spirituality, inspiration, determination, strength, intuition, creativity, ambition, and expansion, original thought, and the seeds through which life springs forth. Wands cards deal with the spiritual level of consciousness and mirror what is important to you at the core of your being. They address what makes us tick, our personalities, egos, enthusiasms, self-concepts, and personal energy, both internal and external. The negative aspects of the suit of wands include illusion, egotistical behavior, impulsiveness, a lack of direction or purpose, or feeling meaningless. Come on, baby, light my fire. So the earth element, or the suit of pentacles, which I'm, reflecting upon, in this reading specifically here, and which I will touch upon lastly after I finish going over, all of the elements. So I have the earth element, and then I have the air element, the suit of swords, left to go in this brief explanation, which I wanted to share with you all. So the earth element, is The suit of pentacles, earth is tactile energy and tangible. It creates the foundation from which the planet can grow and develop, and it supports and nurtures the plants and trees. Earth is grounded, stable, supportive, and fertile. It is a feminine element that is receptive. It takes in nutrients and sun rays, and then uses this energy to sustain the life that grows out of it. In the tarot, the earth element is represented by the suit of pentacles. The suit of pentacles tarot card meanings cover material aspects of life, including work, business, trade, property, money, and other material possessions. The positive aspects of the suit of pentacles include manifestation, realization, proof, and prosperity. Pentacles deal with the physical or external level of consciousness and thus mirror the outer situations of your health, finances, work, and creativity. They have to do with what we make of our outer surroundings, how we create it, shape it, transform it, and grow it. On a more esoteric level, pentacles are associated with the ego, self-esteem, and self-image. The negative aspects of the suit of pentacles include being possessed, and I just wanted to say, on that more esoteric level, the ego's self-esteem and self-image, like a big thing I've been reflecting on recently and just like affirming to myself, it's like that I am the abundance that I seek. When we see ourselves as that abundance, then it's like abundance is not something that's out there. Of course it is in a way, if you think about it, like it's something that we're here to get, but we're here to attract it, through knowing, through, emanating that vibration and that energy, of our worth, like of having this like self-worth, knowing our true worth and all that we're here to give, knowing that we are the abundant force, the abundant source, from which, we can manifest, the abundance that we seek. So we seek this abundance, in these different things, but like what we were looking for all around us, all outside of us was here the whole time. It was us, we are that, like, like the key, when we start to see that we are the abundance that we seek, we start to act like and act with, the awareness of all that we are, in the awareness of all that we are. Not coming from this place of lack, from this place of scarcity, like the reason why these cards have come up for me, I know it, and then it's been being hammered down to me through all of the reflections that I've seen is like, grounding down, rooting down, root chakra stuff, it's grounding down, groundedness, stability. It's what me and my partner have been manifesting, and we have now manifested. We've manifested a place to live and to anchor down for the next 11 months. And I feel so proud of us for doing this. It's come as a result of this hard work, and really me getting out of my head and, just like getting, coming and reconnecting back with the earth. We've been going on a lot of walks outside in nature, reminding ourselves to do that. And, just like it's been helping us to stay and remain grounded, I think, is, like reminding ourselves to get that fresh air, not be in our heads, to really just taking the time to ground down, to get in our bodies, dancing, again, when we speak about, like it's like the physical, like the tangible, it's like the earthly, you think about like our body, it's like our body is like, like the is like, connected to, and, like we're made from, like it's like it is the earth in the sense of, like it is the material manifestation of, it's like the the vessel in which we're inhabiting. So, we need to care for this vessel, to eat grounding foods that, make us, like especially during these winter months, we can be in our head space, or floating around so much, like, it's like to eat like root vegetables and things like that, like sweet potatoes and things that are like red or orange even, like, like these are things that can help us to really help us to ground down and to feel stable during these like winter months, especially when it is all about, these times are about slowing down. Maybe the summer is about like, like a lot more of this quick movement, like that kind of energy to bring it to like Ayurveda. I know that it's like the, I think that we're in kapha season right now, which is like the heavier season where it's eating heavier foods and stuff like that. And, you know, it's like where we can give ourselves permission to do that, where it's like sometimes we can just be like being so hard on ourselves about that. But it's always a delicate balance with everything, for that matter. Of course, it's like, you know, like if we overdo that and we're just, you know, like eating so much of this heavy stuff, you know, and we're not remembering to, you know, cleanse and let go and flow. It's really tuning into our bodies and, you know, finding that balance. But I was just speaking specifically to kind of like seasonally, you know, like this time of grounding, you know, how some of these energies that I'm speaking about, you know, like pentacles relating to finances and money, like so many people are thinking about these things now because the world is so uncertain. You know, so many of us are letting go of things that no longer serve us in order to step into new beginnings. You know, that are often times like, you know, like it is like, you know, like the unknown. And that brings me to one card that maybe I can reflect upon, which I will remember to reflect upon. You know, the Ace of Coins. You know, like this is all about like new beginnings and new ventures. You know, like the Ace is that which brings, you know, like holds all of the potential of the rest of the cards in the suit. Like it's kind of like, you know, that's what that card and that numerology speaks to. You know, like it's like the one, you know, like the initial like inspiration and idea, and, you know, like the new beginnings, you know, new foundations, you know, like that are being laid down into the world. And I can go into that a little bit more. But before that, you know, again, as I said here, you know, and as this tangent began, you know, I'm going to try and finish this within an hour. So I'm in like 45 minutes, at like 45 minutes right now. And I know I have a lot to share, but I hope that this information I'm sharing can be helpful to you, to, again, be, you know, reflecting to you, you know, me speaking about the elements and their relationship to tarot, and then specifically reflecting upon my reading and how I pulled a lot of earthly cards, you know, and it's very relevant to me too, being having a lot of earth in my chart actually, but at the same time, sometimes from the other aspects of my chart, you know, it being a struggle for me to come back down to earth, you know, because I can be such a visionary and having all these thoughts and ideas and dreams, wonderful ideas, and I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this and I want to do that, and it's like, come back into your body, Chris, one thing at a time. And really just being present, you know, in this unfolding, you know, so that I can allow for that balance and, you know, like this greater ease and grace in my manifestation process, you know, so that I'm not running around doing, you know, it's working smarter and not harder, and, you know, slowing down and taking the time to reflect. Like this can be an important thing for me too, in addition to getting in my body, you know, because this is grounding down my ideas and my thoughts, you know. So when we think about grounding down, it's not just movement. It's like, you know, like it's not just movement through our bodies, but, you know, like it's like the movement and the channeling of our thoughts and ideas and these thought forms, you know, into something that's more tangible, you know, so that we can actually see it more clearly when it's just swirling around our head and we think like, oh, like I'll remember that thing that I need to bring to I'll remember those things I need to get at the grocery store, and we don't write down a list. You know, it's kind of like that. You know, when we write down a list of the things that we're going to get, like it helps us to remember it in the same way that when we write down or when we just ground down these thoughts and ideas in the form of a video, it helps us to remember where we're going, and it helps us to make sense of it because we're really just like moving it through our being, you know, communicating it, expressing it, you know, through the throat chakra. You know, so again, it's like we're always healing upon all these different layers too of our beings. Like, you know, like just as I'm speaking about grounding down, like, you know, like we ground down through our voice, you know, through the throat chakra. So it's like, you know, like that, while that has been the main focus of this like season and of this cycle for me, grounding down, it's like, of course I need to, like, you know, be in tune with what's going on in my whole chakra system, you know, in all of them, so I can help bring them into balance, so then I can be moving with, like, you know, like when I think about the rainbow body, you know, the rainbow light body, I think about like all of our chakras, like, you know, moving in harmony, you know, being in harmony, in balance. So, you know, it's never just one thing. It's, you know, dealing with and recognizing that we're a whole being that is that, you know, has so many different energy centers and, aspects of ourself that we, in order to, should be showing up balanced in the world around us, and, showing up to the world in a balanced way, we need to create that balance within to reflect that without. So, create that inner balance, within our, system, within our being, to then reflect that out into the world, which then helps to create more balance and harmony in the world around us. So it's like the inner harmony to then create the outer harmony in the world, as above, so below. When we are in tune with ourselves, we remember to tune up, these different areas so that we can get the flow, they speak about, it's these wheels of energy, we can remove the things that are damming up our energy or that are causing it to be stuck, and we can identify which areas specifically are calling for our healing, are calling for our attention, our awareness, and when we take note of those things, it can be a very helpful practice. And tarot is just, again, one of these tools for doing this. The gene keys are another great way. Human design is another great system to work with. I haven't had very much experience with human design, but I've looked into gene keys a good deal. Again, these are just great systems to help us, and of course, just different journals, books, and stuff like that. They're great means of reflection and being able to, channel and write down this energy, or to just, when we say write down, it's bringing it down, bringing our thoughts down into something that's tangible, into something that, we can see. It's just that can allow us to reflect upon it and to see ourselves, more clearly through that. So without further ado, let me go back to, I want to finish and say what the air element's about, and then kind of give you an overview of my reading here before my hour of tarot talk time is over. So, again, so I was saying, on a more esoteric level, pentacles are associated with the ego, self-esteem, and self-image. So, it's to know our worth and to be grounded in our worth of who and what we are, all that we are, to bring that energy out into the world. The negative aspects of the suit of pentacles include being possessive, greedy, or overly materialistic, overindulging and not exercising, not effectively managing one's finances, and being overly focused on career to the detriment of other life priorities. Often what is required to counteract these negative aspects is a return to nature to ground oneself and rediscover what is truly important. I love that advice. It's so true, and so beautiful. And when we return to nature, to ground oneself, to ground ourselves, one of the things that we often do is we take those deep breaths. This segues perfectly into the air element, which again is this, it's powerful yet refreshing and cleansing. The breath of life, of spirit. The air is untangible and unseen, but also in constant movement. Air can be still and mostly unnoticed, becoming a breeze or a fierce wind. It is powerful yet refreshing and cleansing. Symbolically, the air element relates to knowledge, action, power, and change. It is a masculine energy that can lead by force or in power, even though it remains unseen. In the tarot, the suit of swords is related to air. I think about air as being, as relating to the intellect. A suit of swords tarot card meanings are associated with action, change, force, power, oppression, ambition, courage, and conflict. Action can be constructive and or destructive. The suit of swords deals with the mental level of consciousness, as I was saying, that is centered around the mind and the intellect. Swords mirror the quality of mind present in your thoughts, attitudes, and beliefs. Swords themselves are double-edged, and in this way the suit of swords symbolizes the fine balance between intellect and power, and how these two elements can be used for good or evil. As such, swords must be balanced by spirit, wands, and feeling cups. The negative aspects of the suit of swords include anger, guilt, harsh judgment, a lack of compassion, and verbal and mental abuse. So it says, just here, the last little part here that she says, I'll just read this last little part because I'm almost done with the article. Creating a personal connection with the elements. One of the most powerful ways to connect with the elements and understand their true energy is to experience them. For example, experience the element of water by spending time at the beach or a nearby river. Watch the rain fall and the puddles form. Turn on the tap at home and feel the water run over your hands. Take a swim in the ocean. Simply observe the element in its purest form and watch how the element expresses itself in different ways. Then come back to your tarot cards and look at how the element expresses itself in the cards. Pull out all of the cups cards, for example, and take note of the water in each card. What do you notice now? Is the water flowing or stagnant? Is the water forceful or gentle? See what new insights are revealed to you with this deepened understanding. Over to you. Mastering the elements is a critical part of learning to read the tarot. Once we connect deeply with the elements, you'll have a heightened awareness of how the tarot suits work, and your tarot readings will be how the tarot suits work, and your tarot readings will be even more in-depth and insightful and meaningful to you. Choose an element to work with this week. Learn more about it and experience it in your everyday life. What elemental energies have been, calling you? Have you been feeling in your energy? Have you been, being called for you to bring awareness to and focus, For me, it's definitely been the earth element and grounding down, but also, again, I can find so much meaning, with and so much, I feel like also like the fiery energy of, personal power and, with like the, just that masculine energy too of, finding the balance between that of, like my personal power and bringing that into the world, like that, solar plexus energy. I couldn't think of it for a second, and grounding that in the world, but also, again, like then the creativity through, it's all of the chakras, and it's like when I start to really tune into and see how all of them are present in my life, and how I can tune into what shifts can I make that can bring these energies into balance so that all of the energy is flowing through, is being allowed to flow through my system with with grace and ease. So mastering the elements is a critical part of learning to read the tarot. Once you connect deeply to the elements, you'll have a heightened awareness of how the tarot suits work, and your tarot readings will be even more in-depth and insightful. Choose an element to work with this week, learn more about it, and experience it in your everyday life. Then look at how the element is expressed in the tarot cards. What new insights do you have? And so I encourage you all to do that, and whether it's tarot that you utilize, to reflect, or whether it's journaling that you utilize to reflect, or anything that you do to help ground down and to make sense of the insights and reflections that we make. It's like, how can we apply those lessons that we learn to then take them out into the world to install new patterns of behavior that are supportive towards ourself and our well-being and health and our joy and our happiness and being at peace with ourself. How can we see how the elements are present within that? How can we maybe connect deeper with an element to strengthen and to perhaps release blockages that are holding us back in those centers, to allow our energy to flow freely, to ultimately help manifest and to bring to life, to bring into form, to bring into manifestation, to ground down the life of our dreams, to manifest that in the real world. And I know how to do it. For me, I know how to do it now. But yeah, if we're listening and we truly take the time to apply those insights and formulate like a concrete plan to do that, and maybe not a concrete plan, but a plan that we can remain present, in each moment to, refining that plan, to just continuing to tune in to like what's needed. How can I adjust? How can I bring more balance into my life? How can I empower myself to move forward towards, whatever I'm working to manifest in this world? I know for me, this reading has spoken to me about connecting with, the first card drawing upon, like this, the feminine, the Empress energy of, like nurturing and fertility, like all of my, and the abundance that I have to share, like this, I feel very fertile, I have like so much of this art that I'm ready to share and bring into life, and, to bring into form, to manifest into this world. And, then it speaks about the, then the Four of Coins can, again, I'm just briefly going to go over these, can represent, greed and an unwillingness to open up and share, so it has to do with financial stability and this, and materialism, and, represents, I feel it represents worries about money, finances, and, it's inviting this new perspective into my life again. It's inviting and continually affirming within myself, instead of, coming from this place of lack and worry. It's instead recognizing that, my daily attitude, your attitude determines your altitude. And, if we're coming from this place of, this higher awareness of, the truth of our being, which is abundant, we're coming from this place of gratitude, and, from this place of, seeing all that we have to share and all that we are, are coming from this place of our worth. And the nurturing energy that we have to share, it's shifting to seeing ourselves as all that we are, the abundant source of the abundant force that we are, and all that we have to share. This is just, again, what I've been reflecting upon in this reading. And then again, without getting too much into it, it's then the Two of Coins specifically being about the skill needed to balance the opposing forces in life, and finding that, the balance between, the earthly, physical, and spiritual, and, building that foundation, that being woke doesn't mean being broke. I've been listening to that song a lot recently by Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge. I think in Donnie Arcade is in that song. It's woke don't mean broke. Woke don't mean broke. It's just about knowing that just because, that we are here to anchor and to bring heaven to earth, that we are assisted and guided, if we are open to listening, we're opening to applying the lessons that we those lessons and insights that we learn, that we are supported in manifesting the life of our dreams. We are supported in our spiritual pursuits, these things that seem like they are maybe a little out there, or we're here to help bring this new energy to shift the paradigm, maybe we're here to create a new world, maybe that's why we don't fit into this world. And so it's just that reminder that we are supported in manifesting our dreams into reality, and living the life of our dreams, that it's not just this thing that we give up on, that we repress within ourselves. Nah, that's some old shit, yo. We gotta open up and share that and recognize that that's what's gonna bring us joy. It's what's gonna bring more joy to people around us. Because we're not gonna be hating what we're doing with our time and our energy, but we're gonna be loving it. It's to live the life that you love. To each day wake up to want to love what you're doing. Isn't that what we all want? That's why I had to clear out and cut out, some of these cords that were, just kind of holding on. And, coming from this place of feeling like lack and feeling like I'm settling for this. It's like, like I know what I deserve. I know what I'm worth. So I'm going to embody that and then act upon that. I'm going to move out of these things that are no longer serving me, and I'm going to move into things that reflect a declaration of, and reflect, like the worth that I know that I am, like it's me carrying and living that awareness. And so, then I just wanted to touch upon this last one, and then like the sun is like shining that and bringing it out into the world. And that's what I will end on, so the Ace of Coins being, the Ace of Coins presents us with new beginnings, financial opportunities, and prosperity. The origin of this gift may be unexpected, and this deck specifically, like where it like has these like folk tales and fairy tales, so it's like Jack and the Beanstalk. So it says the origin of this gift may be unexpected, like magical beans. I literally call all you guys magical beans all the time. We're all magical beans. We can all help each other grow. When we share the gift that is us. The magical bean that we are. Magical beans that we are. So upright, it represents new business, money investments, abundance, and security. So like seeing this card was like, whoo! So like what may be holding me back was kind of what that card is about. Like, like it's like maybe holding me back is like, like it's like not like focusing on like, like it's like the abundance, that is here for me. Like, like the opportunities and prosperities that are here, in the prosperity that is here for me. Like that's like this, how I've been making sense of this reading is it's like, like this like card represents all of this, new energy to bring forth, to birth into this new energy and like, these new opportunities. I just wanted to read that one specifically in here because I feel like it can be relevant for maybe some of you, perhaps maybe some of you have pulled this. I just feel called to share it. So it's like a new financial or career opportunity, manifestation, abundance. Depicts a hand emerging from the clouds. Much like the aces of the other suits, a large coin sits in the cupped palm, freely available to whoever has the wherewithal to take it. It is as if a new opportunity associated with wealth, business, and manifestation has appeared out of nowhere and is now being extended to you in all its glory. The impetus is now on you to accept this offer and turn it into something meaningful and sustainable. The landscape in this card is lush and abounding. A garden brimming with, and again, this isn't specifically what this is speaking to. This is talking about the traditional Rider-Waite cards in that tarot deck, but again, this is a different depiction of it, like, which again is still representing, it's lush and abounding. It says in this one, it's like, the verdant imagery signals that this time is ripe to move forward with your career and financial ambition. So again, going back to that fertility and ripeness, like, the Empress at the beginning of this reading, it's like the time is now that it is ripe, to It is right. The time is now ripe to move forward with my career and financial ambitions. And while it will require hard work and determination, scaling mountains is no easy task. The Ace of Pentacles encourages you to make the most of this opportunity while it's in its most abundant state. So again, it represents, like other aces of the tarot, new beginnings, opportunities, and potential, like all of the aces, in tarot. And as a Pentacles card, these new beginnings correlate to the material world, so finances, wealth, career, physical health, and manifestation of your goals. You may receive and all of these cards that I pulled in, all of these coins cards are relevant and related to the same things. Again, it's the earthly element, is the Pentacles that I'm speaking about in this. And maybe we can all relate to this during this season of, again, planting these seeds. Like in the springtime, or maybe we're still on this vision quest. We all are going through these different cycles at different times. Relevant to, again, it's of course, the different universe. We're all experiencing this different universal energy, but in different ways, based upon who we are specifically, and what our chart holds. What different aspects of our being are we hold and we carry, which different aspects of our collective being, do we hold and we carry specifically, these different energies and aspects of self, which is again what tarot, which is what astrology is all about, so it's like Virgo is my sun sign, I'm a Taurus moon, and my rising is in Libra, so like all of these different signs, affect how different planetary transits are going to affect me, just as with each of us in our different signs, they're going to all affect us differently. So again, this reading, it may be relevant to you in some ways, but also it could be a little bit different for you, because for me right now, this is where I'm at, is I'm ready to share a lot of these things that have I've been nurturing beneath the surface, and I'm ready to kind of spring to new life with some of these things. And even though it is still the winter time, kind of I'm ready to start sharing these. And I think that, again, maybe I'll start seeing so a lot more of that, really start coming back to me. And in a lot of ways too, it is I'm still kind of planting, I am kind of just planting these seeds, which maybe won't emerge until springtime, with some of these things, but some of these I'm ready to reap, and it's the time is ripe. It's yeah, I don't know, I don't mean to go too much into that, but again, the Ace of Pentacles, the other aces of the Tower, represents new beginnings, opportunities, and potential. And as a Pentacles card, these new beginnings correlate to the material world, finances, wealth, career, physical health, and manifestation of your goals. You may receive a new job offer, an unexpected sum of money, a new business or investment opportunity may come your way, or you'll have the chance to bring an idea to fruition. No matter the occasion, the Ace of Pentacles heralds a sense of prosperity and abundance in the material or financial areas of your life. It undoubtedly comes as a welcome invitation, but it is not a free ride. As with all aces in the tarot deck, this card illustrates the possibility of a new endeavor, but does not guarantee its manifestation or success. That piece is up to you. So it's we all hold this potential within ourselves, the seed of potential, but are we here to are we going to be here to water it? Are we going to be here to take care of it? Are we going to be here to, help that seed, grow into the beautiful flowering plant, that we see upon the surface? Even when we don't really see the results of it, even when we don't see that little sprout pop its head up above the surface, even when we don't see the tangible results quite yet, are we going to still be there to water it? And that's the question, I think, is we see these new possibilities, these new endeavors, to ground in the world, and it's can we continue to water that seed of potential? Can we continue to, be there for it, to support the full flowering of that, into something that is very real, that is very, long lasting, that is sustainable, we need to continue that effort, and to build that up with consistency and hard work and dedication, and devotion to what it is that we truly love and what it is that we are truly passionate about and that we're here to bring into the world. It's some of us are just here we want things to happen quickly, myself included. I find myself in there all the time, and I'm always coming back to just it's being patient. Being patient doesn't mean just sitting around waiting for things to happen to you, but be patient, in the manifestation process, and part of that manifestation process being the continual effort and, acting upon, the continual action steps that you're taking, to breathe life into, to, summon that, to breathe life into, those ideas and those things that we're looking to build here on earth, and, to build, those, that earthly foundation, to feel that first within ourselves, our connection, rootedness to the earth beneath us, that it does support us. And, then when we feel safe, within ourselves and feel supported, again, maybe we still have to take that leap of faith, but that faith and trust is rooted within, it's cultivated, within ourselves. So that in of itself, is through the practices of grounding down, we start to feel that greater sense of security and rootedness within ourselves, and not attaching to things outside of ourselves to this it can often just be attaching onto these things outside of us for this sense of, security. Can we anchor down and root down within ourselves, to form our foundation, especially the number 4 specifically, rooting down, forming our foundation, the number 4 to form. And that's what I've been really focusing on, is forming this foundation. And me and Alyssa have been building that within our relationship that we have with each other. And now we're like really starting to see that in the world around us. And you see the result of all that hard work, as manifesting as this long-term, place to stay, to feel grounded. We've been just floating around the past couple months at different Airbnbs. I've been toting around all of my art, all of my stuff around with me. It's going to feel so good to be grounded in a place for a longer period of time. And I know many of you can relate to that too, because there's something very real about that too. It's like, of course, like it's almost like I feel like as a prerequisite before, like it's almost like sometimes we can be grounded in the real world and find that place of lasting, like, a feeling more grounded and stable. It's almost like we need to like build that within ourselves or within the relationships that we share, the intimate relationship that we share with someone, to be able to build that trust and that foundation of trust upon which, like, everything in the relationship is based upon, is that like trust and accountability and like, like being able to support each other, to support ourselves. It's like once we feel grounded in that, then we can start to support others, in bigger and better ways. So it's like, I know that with these new beginnings, it coming in the form of, like me bringing and like sharing so many of these things that I've been working on, is it's really building a foundation for myself as an artist in this world, a multidisciplinary artist of, artist of many sorts. It's like building a landing page, building a website. Like I'm finally really doing that. And it's like, I've been just kind of finalizing some of the things that, and like, in all honesty, like, it's like, I've just been figuring out which site I want to use, because I'm like a Virgo and I'm very analytical, and I want to figure out like what's the best one that I'm going to use. But it's like, I'm taking my time and all that, knowing that like, there's no rush, but then I'm doing it and reminding myself and celebrating myself for each day of hard work that, I put in. And even if it's not hard work, even if it is just relaxing, it's like, it's doing the work, it's showing up and being present with myself and like, walking this path, like, like of that is aligned with my visions. It's like bringing this vision quest that I started embarking on, several months ago, like really like around the time that, me and Alyssa met each other, it's like bringing this vision quest, like, to an ending that really will be a new beginning. Like, it's kind of like we celebrated, we pulled the other day, I think it was like the 10 of Cups or something that it was, or it was the 10 of Pentacles or something maybe, but it was like this energy of like, celebration, and I think it may have been both of those, or I saw both of those recently, but it's like, kind of like this culmination, but again, like with every ending is like a new beginning. So it's kind of like the end of this kind of like movement and feeling like, kind of like we've been moving from Airbnb to Airbnb to like kind of like allow ourselves to celebrate, but it doesn't mean that that's like the end of things. With every end is a new beginning. So it's the end of maybe like moving around and feeling like kind of ungrounded, and like the start of like this like new groundedness that we feel through just like being able to live at a place for like 11 months to really like ground our roots down here. And it feels so fucking good. And I know that many of you can relate to this, and I just wish you all, nothing but the best, in all of your endeavors, to like ground your dreams into reality, and, like the steps that you're taking each day to do that. And I celebrate you because, your joy is my joy. Like I feel so much joy for you, you can like feel called to, if you listen to this whole video, I know it's a long one, to like leave in the comments section below, like, just some of your, I think I'm going to post this on a YouTube space too that I'm like planning on creating. You can like leave something in the comment section below too of like what it is that you've been, like really like investing a lot of your time and energy into that's connected to, your passions and, things that you really love to do. Maybe you can share what you've been like working on, like, some of those like, heart's desire, those dreams, and what you've been doing to nurture those dreams, and what you've been doing to to nourish and feed, those dreams, and to breathe life into them, each day, and to not just be settling to just get by, and giving up on those parts of ourself that want to be expressed. What have you been nurturing that has felt really good, in your life? And what are you really excited about? I'd love to hear some of those things in the comments below. What are you excited to be bringing, to be sharing? Where do you see yourself in reflection? Where have you been seeing yourself? What part of this cycle of manifestation do you see yourself in? Do you see yourself as, ready to reap, all that you've been sowing? Do you see yourself kind of in this unfamiliar, unknown territory where maybe it's just kind of where it's kind of I'm just interested to hear about what cycle that you kind of feel you're in. And I just wanted to read the end of this. So it's see the Ace of Pentacles as your green light. It marks the initial stages of manifesting your goals and assures you that you can truly achieve what you have set your mind to. The world is your oyster, and through careful planning and determined effort, you will manifest. You can and will manifest your goals and desires. Your ideas are ready to turn into something tangible and real. This card encourages you to map out how you will achieve your ambitions, create targeted plans, and get those actions underway. Keep your eyes open for chances to manifest your goals and realize your inner potential, to bring into form, that inner potential that we see within the seed, to bring it, to make it something that's real and tangible, keep your eyes open, your ears open, to listening to, the whisperings, the signs, all the things that we can see that help to inform us, and to reflect back to us, different openings and opportunities to plant our seeds, to share our gifts and bring them into the world. The Ace of Pentacles also symbolizes wealth, not just for your bank account, but in a holistic sense as well. You may discover opportunities to generate a new source of income or receive a financial gift or windfall. Or you may have a chance to create wealth in a broader sense, happiness, fulfillment, potential, and love. This ace signifies abundance in all areas of your life. Enjoy it. Feel blessed and deserving of everything that comes your way. If you wish to amplify this feeling of prosperity, live by the law of attraction and send your positive energy and intent into the universe so you will receive more in return. That last part is so beautiful too. It's if you wish to amplify this feeling of prosperity, it's feel blessed and deserving of everything that comes your way. Live by the law of attraction and send your positive energy and intent into the universe so you will receive more in return. Recognize that we attract that through the vibration that we're emitting. So feel your worth, feel this prosperity within you, and, call that in, maybe visualize yourself, what it's like, when our goals and when our needs are met, what it's gonna feel like when we're there, and feel that in our body, because that's the first steps to manifestation and visualization is, feeling that feeling in our body of we're already there, so we can invite more of that into our life, so that we can feel it is already there for us, and that it's not this thing that's so far away, but we start to feel that feeling of prosperity and it's coming, and then we just allow it in. It's I'm calling in this prosperity and this worth, and I know that everything that I've been doing, has been calling that in. So it's almost even though we will feel surprised when those, when that money starts coming in, it's it almost it won't feel so surprising anymore, because we're just yup, I've been calling this in, It's we can, and that's how we just really start to see that, we are creating our reality, despite the fact that how the manifestation will occur specifically may be unclear to us, we can start to see that, when we put good in, we start putting that energy in, we start emanating that energy, that it will come back to us. that it will come back to us. And it's just the way in which that comes, which is always a surprise, which is always exciting and, unknown to us. But that's the joy of life, is it will come to us in ways that are often unexpected, in ways that we didn't see coming. So that's why it's so important to remain open and flexible and not be so rigid in our plans too, where we expect things to happen a certain way. But it's important to have these visions and these ideas, but have that balance of, the masculine and feminine energies within us. Again, it's this balance of, these dual energies, these opposing energies in life, where again, it's like having a plan, a vision, then remaining open and flexible, to allow it, and flexible, to allow that energy to move in the way that, it's being called to move. So that, again, that having that vision and that plan, being the, these very real ideas, but not being so concrete, and unyielding, it's being allowing ourselves to be flexible and fluid, allowing the flow within the form, And so I feel like I'm almost done with this reading. I just want to finish off with this last card, which is the sun. And it has a beautiful image of, I believe, Ra, which is, the sun god in, Egyptian iconography. I think that's the right word for it. Or, in the pantheon of gods that are associated with, the Egyptian heritage and lineage. And I want to read what that one specifically has to do with. So, yes. So the sun, sun god Ra. The sun is success, birth, confidence after passing through difficult times. Egyptian sun god Ra proves everything is illuminated with optimism and enthusiasm for the path ahead. So satisfaction, accomplishment, joy, luck, and vitality. I'm going to read just what the sun says in this one, and this will be the last ones. We can all go out and so from this video we can, take all the things I shared, and, I think this wraps it all together quite beautifully, this being the last card in this reading that I'm sharing. The sun. We all are, if you think about it, in this mother, father, son, the sun is the Holy Spirit that we all carry within us. That's the way I think about it sometimes. And it's the masculine and feminine energies within us. And it's the result of that is, the sun is the light that we emanate, that we have to share, with this world. And again, it represents that vitality and just this life force energy. And just bringing to light, sharing our light, being beacons of light, and doing what we came here to do, and sharing that inner radiance, that we all have within us, and it really just comes with releasing those blockages that are keeping that light from, shining in its full magnificence and grandeur and beauty. Again, we can think about the light, we can think about the flow of energy. It's the flow of energy, when we actually allow our body to hold more light and to emit that. It's when we clear out the things that are no longer serving us, that we're holding on to, that are restricting us from really embodying and fully, carrying and transmitting, all of the light that we're here to transmit through us, that universal energy that's streaming through us. It's when we do clear out those limiting beliefs and those things, those blockages and all of those things that prevent us from just shining bright as the sun, beautiful sons and daughters of God that we are, and, letting our light shine out into the world. And that is the last card in this specific reading. Again, freeing your emotions. It's how do I release, that you know, like any of that stuck energy around finances, when I like, you know, like how do I release that? Like, you know, like, and like, what is that? Like the culmination of releasing that, like, you know, it's like shining that inner radiance. I feel like that's like very telling that that's like the last card in this, like, you know, it's like, you know, like becoming free of that in a lot of ways is the sun. Like it is this like accomplishment, joy, vitality, and satisfaction that comes from allowing ourselves to, like, you know, be a free soul. You know, it's like when we're not holding on to anything anymore, you know, we truly feel free. And of course, this is something that we always are coming back to, you know, like we're refining this process, and sometimes we may feel blocked or trapped, but it's important to just allow those, like, you know, like to recognize that this journey of, you know, enlightenment is an ongoing journey. You know, it's like we may have an enlightening experience, but, you know, like sometimes we may feel blocked in, like, in one way or another. And it's like, how do we get back to that inner radiance and, like, you know, and being and allowing ourselves to be the full, like, you know, expression of our light and all that we have to give. I have to go to the bathroom soon, so I'm gonna finish up shortly. So again, just wanted to read what it says in this about that, and then I will be complete in this reading, and I will share this on a YouTube page that I'm going to be creating today, and I will be also sharing this on my Instagram for those of you who are watching on YouTube. You can, like, look at the links below in this video. Like, I'm trying to think about, like, I'm gonna become a YouTuber now, so what do I say in these videos? But yeah, you know, you can find the link to my Instagram below this. Cosmic Creations, and I will be you know, sharing that on that page too, at least just like in my stories or something like that, at least for now. Until I decide to make like another Chris Tarot page or something like that on Instagram. So yeah, I just wanted to read the sun. So again, this is through Biddy Tarot, a great resource for, you know, finding greater meaning in these reflections. You know, again, like you can also just draw upon your life though, and, you know, like what the sun means to you. But I find it helpful too to look at like specifically what it says too on these reflections, because they have a lot of great, you know, reflections, and you know, the words that they choose to use to express and to describe, you know, the energy depicted in these cards is really beautiful, and oftentimes provides me with a lot of great insight. So the sun description, which again in this deck is depicted as the sun god Ra. So the sun card radiates with optimism and positivity. A large, bright sun shines in the sky, representing the source of all life on Earth. Underneath your sunflowers grow tall above. Underneath, 4 sunflowers grow tall above a brick wall, representing the 4 suits of the minor arcana and the 4 elements. In the foreground, a young naked child is sitting on top of a calm white horse. The child represents the joy of being connected with your inner spirit, and his nakedness is a sign he has nothing to hide and has all the innocence and purity of childhood. The white horse is also a sign of purity and strength. I have to tell you something really funny about that. And I was told once that I reminded someone of the baby in the sun card in tarot, and it's like, you know, like just, and it was such a beautiful, like, so beautiful to hear that from someone. And when I did, because like it was just like, it reflected back to me, and it reflected to me, you know, just like the inner radiance that I do have to share, and how people think of me as the sun. And, you know, like we all are suns, you know, like we all have that inner radiance to share. And, you know, like we have this, you know, when we allow ourselves to radiate, you know, the affirmation for the sun here that it says, and the chakra is the solar plexus chakra, as I was sharing before, you know, and it has like, you know, crystals that go along with this energy of the sun is again like citrine, yellow calcite, pyrite, and the affirmation that it says with this is, I radiate my true self with confidence and attract only positive people and circumstances in return. So, you know, like when we radiate our true self, you know, when we're allowing ourselves to radiate our true self, and we're being that, and we're feeling and expressing this joy, you know, then we all shine like the sun in our own beautiful ways. So this is not like sun tarot cards. Like someone was like, you look like the baby in the sun tarot card. Like, ah, I'm a child of the sun. like the warmth of the sun, like the warmth and this radiance, that emanates from us. Like people feel that warmth, coming from us when we allow ourselves to radiate our true, authentic self. And so, reading the the Biddy Tarot description for this card is, the sun card radiates with optimism, positivity. A large bright sun shines in the sky. I think I already read this, representing the source of all life on earth. Underneath, 4 sunflowers grow tall above a brick wall, representing the 4 suits of the minor arcana and the 4 elements. And as I said before, in the foreground of the picture I just showed you, a young naked child is sitting on top of a calm white horse. The child represents the joy of being connected with your inner spirit, and his nakedness is a sign he has nothing to hide and has all the innocence and purity of childhood. The white horse is also a sign of purity and strength. So, the sun represents success, radiance, and abundance in the upright position. All of these cards I pulled in the upright position, and I oftentimes consult the reversed depictions too, because it's all relevant in a way, and it's just kind of about like what is speaking to you at that point in time, but without going into that. So the sun represents success, radiance, and abundance. The sun gives you strength and tells you that no matter where you go or what you do, your positive and radiant energy will follow you and bring you happiness and joy. People are drawn to you, attracted to you, because you can always see the bright side and bring such warmth into other people's lives. This beautiful, warm energy is what will get you through the tough times and help you succeed. You are also in a position where you can share your highest qualities and achievements with others. Radiate who you are and what you stand for. Shine your love on those you care about. If you are going through a difficult time, the sun brings you a message brings you the message you have been waiting for. That things will get better, a lot better. Through the challenges along your path, you discovered who you are and why you're here. Now you are full of energy and zeal for the future and can already perceive success and abundance flowing to you. You are brimming with confidence because you know everything will work out. It always does. Life is good. The sun connects you to your power base, not fear-driven, egotistical power, but the abundant inner energy radiating through you right now. You'll sense it in your solar plexus chakra, calling you to express yourself authentically and be fully present in the world around you. You have what others want and are being asked to radiate your energy and your gifts out into the world in a big way. Tap into your power and use your energy and use your divine will to express that power in positive ways and to share that to the world around you. The sun is also an energetic card, and when we share that, we nourish the world around us too. And it's nourishing to ourselves too. It gives back to us. When we give, and share ourselves authentically, like we receive in return for that. The sun is also an energetic card. Reflects a time when you could expect to experience an increase in physical energy, vitality, and general positivity. You are bursting with enthusiasm, invigorated, and enjoying a wonderful sense of good health. So, just inviting that energy into my life, to fill me with the warmth and radiance, and to be reminded of that, the sun shining down upon me. The sun shining upon me and emanating from me. Being reminded of, the warmth that I feel, from others. And being reminded of, again, that solar plexus chakra and allowing myself to express and to shine that inner radiance out to the world, to help light the way for others and to be a beacon of light for others. And, I am calling in this energy for all of us, that we may all, allow our inner radiance to shine so that we may, help to light the way, to help, light the way for ourselves and others, to help be those beacons of light, by first allowing ourselves to be that ourselves. When we allow that peace and harmony, and we bring and cultivate that sense of balance within ourselves, then we can shine that light, that energy of peace and harmony and balance. When we cultivate that within, we can shine that without. So as I have been calling in and cultivating this greater sense of stability and groundedness in my life, revolving around, like the energy of the pentacles, like of the material world, and bringing these thoughts and ideas that I have in my head and, bringing them down into the world. I am grounding down and building my foundation to the world, with ease and grace, as I continue to allow myself to be open to receive and to walk in full presence, so that I may receive the guidance that I may, receive, the guidance, so that I remain open, so that I remain open, to receive, the guidance, the direction that is here for me. And, through allowing myself to share and express, through that like throat chakra, again, on all of these different areas of our being, like allowing that energy to move freely, listening and tuning in, seeing what we may need to tune up. We can bring more of that balance to our being so that we can shine and radiate that sense of balance and peace, stability, out into the world, so that we can hold space for others, so that we can better hold space for others, so that we can send out a more coherent, focused vibration and energy out into the world, through our own inner focus and devotion. We can continue to inspire all of those qualities, within others that they see reflected within us, that we emanate, that we are putting out as our predominant vibration, and I'm calling in that energy of stability and groundedness and vitality, endurance, and walking in and calling in, and I am walking in that energy and emanating that confidence, dedication, commitment, nourishing my creativity through allowing my personal power to be expressed, as it was saying in this too, like you feel it in your solar plexus. Connecting us to our power base, calling us to express ourselves authentically and be fully present in the world around us. Like we have these gifts to share that others are ready to receive, and we're being asked to radiate our energy and our gifts out into the world in a big way, to tap into our power and to use our divine willpower, to express that inner power that we all contain within us, that inner light, in positive and beneficial ways to everyone. So calling in that energy, that confidence to express and share and voice, speak my truth, to ground my dreams in reality, to help ground and birth, to bring into reality this dream, this larger dream that we're all helping to birth through us. May I each day walk with patience, with gratitude, with authenticity along this path. Meant a lot of other qualities too. May I walk in full alignment, in balance, in all areas, in all aspects of my being. May I be harmony. May I be peace. May I be love. May I beam light. May I beam love. For that is who I am, who you are, our true self. May we be that which we are, all that we are, and share that out into the world without fear, with love, for ourselves, others, all who we are, all that we are, the one that we are. Thank you all for listening to these messages, connecting this reading, a very personal reading about my life, to the elements, and giving a brief synopsis on, all of these different elemental energies and their connection to tarot. May we all connect deeper with these elemental energies and recognize that we are all the magicians. And these priests and priestesses, which hold and, which have the power, to wield all of these elements, to use them, to tame them, to bring them into balance, all of these energies, to create and to bring magic, to birth and bring our magic into the world. We all are so magical, truly. And perhaps, and I trust that these messages, may help inform you and shine a light upon just how beautiful of a system tarot is, in being able to help us connect with deeper with these elemental energies that we all contain within our being, and can help us to bring those into greater harmony and balance, that we can then shine out into the world, wielding the beautiful gifts and power that we have to share, bringing that out into the world through our connection with and wielding of all of these elements of our being. I trust that this can help illuminate and provide some clarity for you, and I hope that it does. That is my intention making this, is that it can be of some help and support to you upon your path of healing, of transformation, your mission here on earth. I love you all with all my heart and soul, schmeckles, all of my being. Thank you all for being here with me. I love you all. May you have a wonderful rest of your day, whenever you are watching this video. Namaste.